The South African Local Government Association, SALGA, in KwaZulu-Natal is currently briefing the media on the spate of political killings in the province. Let's take you live there now.
And the province has terrible history of black-on-black violence. What is also not helping is some of our political leaders who are using inflammatory language during their campaigns instead of sticking to political diplomacy while wooing voters. Thus, the incidents of the past few are worrying, and something should be done by the police and those in power to arrest the situation. If we fail to act now, we will become like countries like Colombia, where politicians are killed every day. Let us look at the case of the killing of Induna, Lucia Nonina Mahlaba of the Shabala Traditional Council in Emadlangeni, Utrecht, in the north of the province, and some of her family members and neighbors. The brazenness of the criminals who killed them shows that they knew that there would not be any consequences for their actions. Again, it's worrying that it's almost a month since the 4 people were killed and not even one person has been arrested. In countries where law enforcement officers are effective, this case would have been cracked long ago and the alleged killers facing justice. As if that was not enough, the IFP's interim secretary at Mbabazane Constituency Court in the Inkosila Ngalbalele municipality, Mthokozisi Sithole, was killed almost 2 weeks ago. Sithole, who was a dedicated leader, was brutally murdered last Saturday in his hometown of Winen, located in the northern part of the province. Just last week, we witnessed the killing of Ndugenhle Duma, the councillor of the IFP Nongoma. Duma was killed in Mtubatuba, and his killers also killed Elena and injured others. This shows us that killers are prepared to kill even our children while executing their mandate of eliminating political targets. Considering the fact that Duma was always surrounded by his security team, and the moment he let his guard down, he was killed. It shows that the hitmen were hunting for him for a long time. This means that killing politicians has become lucrative business for hitmen, and if nothing is done, will be a province where killing of others is a norm. We should also be worried by reports that the killers used a caliber guns like AK-47, a type of gun which is not freely available in the market. Unless we get rid of guns in our society, no one will be safe. It is time that the SAPS resume randomly raid to rid our society of illegal guns. Of course, that should be done within the law. We should all be worried that Duma was new in office, and now the community that elected him to represent their interest in the local government sphere has been killed. They will likely not see any justice. We all know that out of the many councillors killed since the current term of office started in November 2021, all few cases are in court. The rest have virtually become cold cases. All these acts of political killings should be viewed as a direct attack on our democratic system. They are meant to weaken and render them ineffective. These killers and their handlers have turned politicians into sitting ducks, and they have instilled fear in municipal workers who dare stand up when they see acts of corruption. We once again call on the police and the Premier of KwaZulu-Natal to stand up and fight this scourge before it is too late. They must arrest it. It is shocking that the Morane Commission findings and recommendations which shed some light on the underlying reasons for political killings largely remain unimplemented. As the election season draws near, SALGA urges the Honourable Premier to not only make a call for peace and tolerance, but to commit to remove red tape that disallows the protection of councillors. As I reflect on the events of 2023 and 2024, it pains me to report that the number of councillors who have lost their lives due to political violence is staggering. The very individuals chosen by their committees to represent their interests and bring about positive change are being targeted and silenced. Figures collected from KwaZulu-Natal municipality since November 2021 reveal that it is now undeniable that assassination is the leading cause of death in KwaZulu-Natal. To cite the examples, number of councillors that have been assassinated, there are 19. A motor accident, only 3. Natural cause, only 17. Suicide, 2. Out of 39 councillors who have passed on within this very short space of time. In reported instances, the management of some municipalities has been taken hostage and forced to sign agreements before they were released. Nationally, in the past 2 years, 167 councillors have been replaced due to death, with 40% being ward councillors and 60% proportional representative councillors. What is encouraging is that most by-elections are peaceful, though. The use of government powers to undermine local leadership remains a real threat. The following observation can be made in that regard. To those who may be tempted to resort to violence, I implore them to reflect on the immense impact this has. Councillors are not just representatives, they are the chosen and tasked with the noble duty of liberating and bringing about change and hope. Put down your weapons, for violence only causes more violence. Embrace the power of dialogue, collaboration, and unity to address the challenges facing our communities. As SALGA, we call on all South Africans to remain committed to working towards peace and prosperity, even in such trying times. We know it is hard and life is not easy, but put down your gun and torches and go to the polling stations in your numbers. We trust in your resolve and dedication. We trust in you to create the South Africa you want. Let peace be our guiding principle, and let the words of reconciliation and collaboration echo in our hearts. Together we can overcome the challenges before us and build a brighter future for KwaZulu-Natal, where the dreams of our forefathers are realized and the aspirations of our communities are met. Furthermore, we called this conference to address the issue of ongoing load shedding and its impact on municipal revenue and service delivery and local business. The Honourable KwaZulu-Natal Premier, Mrs. Nomsa Dube-Ncube, in her State of the Province address on the 24th of February 2023, outlined a 6-point program of action with the following high priority areas. 1, energy security plan for KwaZulu-Natal. 2, job opportunity for young people. Fight against crime, fraud and corruption. Economic recovery and transformation. Delivering quality basic services and maintenance of infrastructure. Building a capable and agile state machinery to drive implementations. It is not to say that nothing has been done, and we do not question the dedication of the many provincial employees, the nurses, the teachers, the project administrators in government. But unfortunately, as things stand currently, almost all macroeconomic and socio-political indicators point to a governance system in decay and collapse. This sentiment is broadly held, and such a rapid loss of public trust spells disaster for all efforts to build a society where citizens thrive. The South African Local Government Association in KwaZulu-Natal calls on the KwaZulu-Natal government, through the Premier State of the Province Address, the SOPA, to stem the decay in public trust. The SOPA is an opportune time for the KwaZulu government to bring hope and reinstall some semblance of trust. Ahead of the State of the Nation address, we expected President Ramaphosa to emphasize that local government carries 46% of duties specified in the Constitution and therefore needs resources. We continue with that call to the province. The importance of cooperative governance as the cornerstone of our government structure cannot be overemphasized. The Premier therefore must direct government away from offices and politics towards municipal wards and projects. The tone is set from the top. The most recent census shows municipalities have moved the needle, and almost all profound achievements in this democracy result from local government. Refuse collection and sanitation are above 6%. Strides have been also made regarding electricity and water delivery access since 1994. Current statistics show that 80% of households in South Africa have access to water, and 85% have access to electricity. Municipalities are at the front line of service delivery, regardless of which political party controls a municipality. Every municipality deserves to be supported for the sake of the people it serves. Implementing Section 139 intervention in KwaZulu-Natal has become more regular than cooperative governance. We have demonstrated how the implementation of Section 139 intervention has failed, mentioning municipalities such as Uthukela, where an administrator has been there for more than 7 years. Municipalities such as Mtubatuba, where the administrator has been there for more than 3 years. SALGA was therefore shocked to receive notice that the provincial government the cabinet has taken a decision to place Abaqulusi under administration. The reason for this are extraordinary. The fact that the unions have taken the municipality to court was cited as a reason for the intervention. Some councillors have been suspended over allegations of ill discipline, but again, this is not a valid reason for such intervention, as provided for in law. Section 139 is a failure to fulfill function. Delays filling vacancies is not listed in law as a valid reason. SALGA administratively was at pains to explain to KZN that financial liquidity is not a legal reason for intervention. Why is there such a disparate attempt to intervene, and why now when we are about to go for the elections? Organized labor is correct by taking a matter to court, as this is a normal route and is part of what even the province can do is cooperative government fails. On a more positive note, I would like to commend the municipalities that were recognized at the recent KwaZulu-Natal Municipal Awards in Pietermaritzburg yesterday. Special congratulations to King Cetshwayo District Municipality, Umlazi, City of Umhlathuze, and Ukahlamba Municipality for their exemplary performance and clean audits. While we celebrate these achievements, we cannot ignore the challenges faced by many municipalities in KwaZulu-Natal. Particularly in financial management, it is disheartening that only 4 out of 54 municipalities received clean audits in the past financial year. We must work collectively to empower and support struggling municipalities ensuring that all municipalities in our province strive for excellence and serve their communities effectively. King Cetshwayo District Municipality houses 3 out of 4 municipalities that obtained a clean audit in 2022-2023 in the province of KwaZulu-Natal. It would be unfortunate if the pronouncement of Reinkonyeni as the overall winner was motivated by the fact that the mayor of King Cetshwayo is the premier candidate of a political party that stands to benefit good reputation for recognition of the district of King Cetshwayo, which I preside over. I nonetheless commend Reinkonyeni on the award at the Municipal Excellence Awards. As SALGA, we stand for fairness when it comes to doing what is right. For the awards to be trusted, we hope that an objective measurement system will be introduced at some point, maybe in the new administration to come. On another matter, on the roads and infrastructure in the province. Improving roads and infrastructure for local government in South Africa is essential for economic development, social cohesion, and the overall well-being of communities. It is rare to find 3 spheres managing a national road network. The state of the province must address the frustrations municipalities have in the refurbishment of provincial roads and how this function will be devolved to municipalities. Then the trust deficit and low business confidence levels. Why is the city of Umhlathuze not getting any fuel levy funds when the failures of the rail system impact is so much? The municipal funding framework remains unresponsive to prevailing needs. Even when extreme situations arise, such as the impact of Transnet backlogs on the road network of Richards Bay in the city of Umhlathuze, the local government is not compensated commensurate to the harm not of the municipalities doing. Load shedding and Transnet rail backlogs are classic examples of how the 9% share of the revenue for municipalities from the equitable share is woeful inequitable. We have made a compelling case for municipalities to get a share of the fuel levy, but nothing was announced. Yet we know that the municipal road network needs to be recapitalized. Business confidence index has dropped to 31%. That means that less than a third of business executives are satisfied with prevailing business conditions. Only in a high business confidence environment will business invest in or expand. Municipalities cannot finance new water pipelines or new electricity transformers when businesses do not grow. Then on another subject, which I think is still of importance, the government debts for municipal services in KwaZulu-Natal has just passed the 2.5 billion mark for the first time in the history. When government and business fail to pay or delay paying for the water, lights, rates, and refuse removal services they receive, municipalities often have to secure commercial bank loans to ensure that projects do not grind to a halt, exposing the sector to interest rate hikes and causing of servicing loans. Mostly recently, municipalities are under threat from Eskom and National Treasurer to withhold funding because government departments such as KwaZulu-Natal Department of Education, KZN Health Department, and Public Works are the highest debtors. This is concerning, and is a concerning trend, highlights several critical issues that need urgent attention. On another matter of importance, economic stagnation, municipalities are facing income insecurity because of ratepayer job insecurity and unemployment. Municipal social upliftment programs are undermined by lack of government support, a breakdown of families, drug abuse, and gender-based violence. Leadership avoid in a time of economic stagnation have led KwaZulu-Natal being a violent country that is also polarized in terms of race and class. These matters must be at the center of the SOPA. There is currently no clear direction for the economic recovery for this province. The decision by the Department of Trade and Industry to cut import taxation of imported chicken impacted the pork industry in general, but specifically KwaZulu-Natal. This was compounded by a local aviation flu, which dented hope for small producers. The realization of a solar panel import taxation has suppressed local production of what will be a highly demanded product for years to come. On a matter pertaining load shedding, which is also adding to the factors causing more burden to local government, it was so depressing to hear Honorable MP Sylvia Lucas telling Parliament yesterday that load shedding is not the end of the world. That statement was insensitive. For municipalities, load shedding has resulted in loss of revenue and service delivery pickets that have affected the economy. Some businesses are unable to pay their dues to municipalities because of load shedding, which has left them with financially limping. Some businesses have even closed shop because of load shedding. During load shedding, water pumps and reservoirs stop working, and that affects our citizens. In some painful cases, patients are turned back by health centers because there is no power or no water to operate. Like I had a case when I spoke to one of the doctors in KwaZulu-Natal who told me that they had to turn back patients home because they could not render the services because of the failure which is caused by load shedding and water issues. As I'm addressing you right now, there are several places throughout the country that are in darkness. There are services that have been halted because there is load shedding. Now, to have a leader of the society, like Lucas saying that, is very painful. And it is really rubbing a salt to the wound of the many people who have lost jobs and incomes because of load shedding. Eskom now spends 82 million on diesel daily, or 56,000 every second of every day. The Minister of Finance this week made a presentation to SALGA where he showed how since 2016 funds from the police, economic development, community development, general public services, provincial health, and provincial education were all diverted to fund bailout of state-owned enterprises. Eskom's spending on diesel generator has increased from under 1 billion in 2011 to now well over 30 billion a year. Load shedding is impacting municipal operations in profound ways. It has forced municipalities to take extreme measures to keep wastewater plants and water purification plants running and prevent water contamination. This came at a considerable cost. I thank you.
Thank you so much, Mpemba, for painting a clear picture of what's currently going on in our communities, what's currently going on in our municipalities, which affects and impacts service deliveries to municipalities, which also impacts the life and the livelihoods of our citizens. With that being said, Mpemba will now open the floor to any questions, to any media houses that have questions. And while we are on that note, kindly please state your name and the media house that you come from while we allow Chairperson to write down and note your questions. Thank you so much. I'll now open the floor for questions. Yes.
My name is Oscar Naduma. I'm from News 24. I'm going to restrict my questions to the issue of political killings. First and foremost, is it an issue of legislation and lawmaking in terms of police or creating adequate policing measures insofar as political killings are concerned? Should there be laws that are developed or improved to ensure that the issue of protecting office bearers?
All right, let's come out of that briefing. Of course, that was the South African Local Government Association, SALGA, in KwaZulu-Natal, briefing the media on various issues, including the spate of political killings in the province, as well as economic challenges that are being faced by municipalities in KwaZulu-Natal. Now, on political killings, SALGA's KZN chairperson, Tami Ntuli, says KZN has a history of black-on-black violence. He's also said that 19 councillors have been killed in a very short space of time in 2023. He says that they will be appealing to the Premier of KZN, Nomusa Dube-Ncube, just to intervene, and are of course calling for random raids that were operated by the South African police services to resume, and this will somehow, just curb those political killings and violence, particularly as the country goes into elections in 2024. On the issue of the economy, he said load shedding is impacting businesses, leaving many limping, as well as citizens, and is affecting municipalities. We will speak to our reporter who is on the ground in terms of, just some of those municipalities that are adversely affected. He has, of course, called out the statements that were made yesterday by the NCOP's Deputy Chairperson, Sylvia Lucas, that load shedding is not the end of the world. Ntuli says that statement by Lucas is a painful statement, considering just how much load shedding is affecting citizens, is affecting municipalities, and of course businesses.